So good morning, all you lovely people. Coming into a comfortable seat now this morning, and just take a few moments, make yourself comfortable, sitting down on your seat, hands just resting down in the lap. And just bring your gaze down now to a point just in front of you. Find something there to focus on. It doesn't matter what it is. And then once there, if you let your gaze go into soft focus, it's a bit like you're taking your camera lens just a little bit out of focus. And then you can allow your eyes to shut. And with your eyes shut, you're arriving in your inner space. Now taking a few moments, a little bit of time to arrive here. Observing how the body is feeling today. The flow of the emotional body. Touch of sensation. And where thoughts may be leading you. Now, not to change anything about this inner landscape, but come into it, arrive as if you were a witness to it. As if you were sitting back and watching a film. Sitting on the grass outside, watching the landscape in front of you. Know how it changes moment to moment. How your relationship to it changes moment to moment. Don't think you have to force or project this relationship into any shape or form. Allowing it to evolve, to take shape and form. Without doing anything to it. And flowing in the middle of this landscape is your breath. Like a river, it's flowing. So guiding your attention to your breath. Your breath becoming like a compass. And if there's any intention that you'd like to bring to your practice to guide you through the next moment of time and into the day, the week that lies beyond that, bringing this to mind into the heart now. Your eyes can open again as and when you're ready to. And eyes opening, we'll take the knees up to the center line, and then we're going to start arriving onto all fours. And as you arrive on all fours, just start there finding balance, finding symmetry through the body. Look down at hands or feel your hands, the feet in alignment. And just a light lift up through the belly to support the base of the spine. Now, a couple of moments to follow your breath without actually moving here. Allow yourself to rest within the breath. And then you'll follow your out breath into the curve of the spine, into cat. So tucking under sit bones, head dropping down. Draw the pelvis back a little bit towards heels. Breathing in, your spine will move forward between shoulders. And the gaze soft as you look up. Coming into the out breath again and back into the curve of the spine. And so on for a few breaths. And with your next out breath now, drawing your pelvis back towards your heels. Take time to arrive there. Arms out in front of you. See if you can let all of your weight settle here, whatever else is rising up within the body. And we'll ride back onto all fours. And the toes will tuck under now. And we'll take a few rounds of breath, toes tucked under, in cat and cow. If you want to then rotate your palms either around to the side, so fingers point outwards, or else fingers can come back towards you. Take your hands wide if you're doing so, the full rotation. And we'll keep on with a few more rounds of cat and cow. And then, taking your palms to face around again, fingers away from you. And we'll take the pelvis back again to heels, again relaxing the weight of the body down towards the knees, towards the earth. Come up onto all fours again. And then you're going to take your right arm underneath the left arm underneath the right. And once there, then slide your pelvis back down again to the heels. The arms will move with you. So you're coming into kind of twisted child here. Left arm underneath. Right. And then you'll find your way back onto all fours. And from all fours, right arm underneath the left, taking the pelvis back down towards heels, onto the right temple and into a twisted child the opposite way. And right arm coming out again. Tuck under your toes now and just hinging back towards heels. Hinging forward, toes tucked under. Keep that lift up through the belly. And from here, arriving back to all fours, you can lift up into down dog. Your heels will be high as you arrive. And putting a bit of bend into the knees with the heels high. Another long, deep breath. And just put a little bit of bounce into the legs. You're bouncing on the balls of the feet here. And slowly let your heels drop down towards the earth. And then the legs can soften, they can still. And you're anchoring the feet firmly down towards the earth. And lifting up into your sit bones. Dropping the head down, let's go of its weight between shoulders. And lifting the heels again, prepare to step the feet up towards the top of the mat, towards your hands. And in-breath, the spine will lengthen here, off of the spine. Keep your shoulders soft there. And just wobble them a little bit. And out breath, we fold down the length of the legs. Now starting to roll your spine up, start at the lower vertebrae, work your way up. And once you arrive in standing, your arms can float up. Bring them to the sides of the body and up above the head. Now out breath, slowly guiding palms together, back down and into your heart. Now taking your left hand, take it over to the right hand side of the head. Right arm can just drop down. And just relaxing the skull over to the left hand side. So you feel that lovely big opening down the right side of the shoulder. As you take the weight, head's weight over to the left. Head back to the center line, left hand down, and right hand coming up to the skull. And you're opening out to the left hand side, the neck. Now right hand coming back down again, and both arms are going to float out to the sides of the body. Keep the arms as soft as you can here. See if you can stretch out into that middle finger, and the other fingers can stretch wide. As you start to breathe in, the palms will rotate up. The next in-breath, the palms will float up above the head. And with your out-breath, we'll swallow dive all the way down and into a forward fold. With an in-breath, offer your spine forward. Lift to the fingertips or hands to the legs. An out-breath arriving, palms down and back into down dog. A little bit of bend maybe in the knees in down dog. And then either your knees coming down to bring the spine forward, or else lifting up and over into a plank. Knees back into your heels, your knees are down here or not. And then we'll all drop the knees. Now, with the knees coming down, allow the chest to lower down, bottom will tip up, and then in-breath, arriving in cobra. out breath, come back down to the floor. Another full in-breath into cobra. And with your out-breath, tuck under the toes, start to hinge back to all fours and back up into down dog. The next in-breath, the heels will lift high and you'll start to get ready to walk the feet forward up to the top of the mat and offering your spine with your out-breath folding. Coming up to rise, as you roll the spine up, let the arms follow up above the head. And out breath, you're arriving back and into the heart. In breath, left arm stretches out forward, the palm is up. Out breath, right arm stretches out behind you, palm is down. Keep the hips as level as you can here to the front of the mat. Just avoid that slight twisting through the pelvis. We're going to take the left arm back and the right arm forward. Again, level out your pelvis. And then lift your left arm over to join the right hand. Both arms are now in front of you and your thumbs are up. Dropping your knees, come into chair pose. And an in-breath, the arms will float up. Lift up into that middle fingertip there. And take your time to breathe out now and fold into forward fold. You're arriving the whole way down into a forward fold. Keep the legs a little bit bent here if you prefer. Now offering your spine, breathing in. Hands can be wherever you like here. Then hold here just for a breath or so, so you really feel that extension out through the spine, softness through the shoulders. And then the hands coming down. And this time you can either come back into plank, else into down dog, else you can step back and arrive onto all fours. Keep the gaze soft here. We'll take one more round of breath. Then we're all going to hinge up and back into down dog. Coming up and over on that crest of a wave into a plank. Your knees can drop down here if you prefer. And then we'll all drop down knees. Again, your chest will lower down, bottom up in the air. In breath, arriving into cobra. And out breath, arriving back down again. Take your arms out behind you now. Your feet around a hips width apart from one another. And in breath, legs lifting, arms lifting. Out breath, arriving back down. Another in breath, arriving in locust again. And out breath, back down, hands underneath the shoulders. In breath, find your way into a slow cobra. And out breath, we hinge back on all fours and arrive back on the heels. Take your hands down so you can press your way up into kneeling. We're sitting on the heels now, that's comfortable. If not, you can bring the legs out in front of you and taking your left hand one way or another over to the right knee. Right hand just flopping down behind you, not flopping quite, just lifting it up, resting it down on the floor behind you. Lift up into the spine and we come into twist. Next round of breath, take the right hand over to left knee and lifting up your left hand behind you, dropping it down into twist to that side. And left hand coming over, crossing both arms here, bend the elbows forward, and then curling the spine forward. Your hands can come to the base of the knees, and the head will come down. Stretching out your hands now in front of you, looking towards the hands, and in-breath, arriving back onto all fours. Just take your knees so they're nice and symmetrical again with one another, hips width apart. So you start to move into cat and cow again, following your breath. Hope you can't hear the noise of that drill too much outside. We've got workmen working on the roof at the moment. Hope it's not too bad. Toes tucking under. And then lifting up the knees and arriving back into down dog. Now take your left hand to the top of the right thigh. You're sliding it down the right leg towards ankle. Looking out underneath the right armpit, you're in a three-pointed down dog here. Left hand coming back to the mat. Just ease out your pelvis a little bit from side to side. And then right hand will come to the top of the left thigh, slide it down the left leg, arriving into the three-pointed twist this side. And right hand coming back to the mat. Again, just relax the pelvis a little bit from side to side. In breath, looking forward and stepping the feet to the top of the mat. Off your spine, breathe in. Out breath, folding. Left hand either in front of the right foot, or else you can bring it to the left shin, or over to the right hand side of the right foot. In breath, right arm floats up into twist. To the other side. So you're putting that right hand once down, left arm lifts. left hand comes down. Hands either sides of the feet now, off your spine again, and out breath folding. Coming up to rise, take your time to roll up through the spine and your arms will follow up and above the head. And out breath, hands to the heart. A big in breath, a big circle through the arms. Take them up and over the head. And then take them back and to the heart. If you do that a couple more times, just following the breath flow as you do so. And then when we come into the next circle with the hands, they're going to arrive up above the head, and then we're going to sink down with our out breath into child. So at the height of the out breath, start to relax down. Hands can stay above the head. You can bring them back to the heart here as well if you want. Another in breath, a big circle through the arms. Stay in chair pose. I said child there, didn't I? Out breath, either to heart or keep them above the head. Another in breath, another big circle. Arriving back into your forward fold, take time to arrive there. Really find your way down, feel your way down into the spine. In breath, the spine will lengthen forward. And out breath, we'll step the right foot back, big step back behind you. And we plant the foot down, so the heel is, the toes are pointing out to the right hand side of the mat. Now you have a bit of bend in that left knee here, so walk your left hand either back a little bit, right hand likewise, or else you can bring that left hand up to the knee for support, down to the ankle for support, or else pile it up in a lot of blocks or something on the left hand side. With your in breath, we're starting to lift up through this right leg. And then the right arm will follow, arriving up into Trikonasana. And keep a bit of bend through that left knee, that's helpful. Anchor this right foot as firmly as you can on the floor. In breath, right arm's going to stretch up and over the head. Fingertips pointing away from you. And bending now the left leg. Another big in breath, and right arm will lift up above the head again. And out breath, it will stretch over the head, away from you. And arriving back towards the floor. Now rotate that right foot now, so it's pointing, the heel's pointing away from you, toes are pointing towards the top of the mat. And we drop the right knee down to the mat. Now you can use the top of the thigh again for support. Toes can be tucked under, or else you can bring the foot flat. In breath, lifting up into Anjaneyasana. Out breath, palms coming back to the heart. Another in breath, a big circle through the arms. And out breath, we're going to bring the hands forward down to the front of the mat. And we're going to step the back foot forward to meet the left. And folding back into forward fold. Start to roll your spine up. Let the arms float up as you lift. An out breath coming into chair pose, arms above the head. In breath, the big circle through the arms. And out breath, either holding the palms there or else bringing them back to the heart. Another in breath, big circle. And out breath, finding your way now into the forward fold. Again, take time to arrive there. Let the spine find its way, flow its way down into your forward fold. And in breath, offering the spine forward. Now, out breath, we're going to take the big step back with the left foot. And again, hand can come to the shin, up to the thigh for support, down to that pile of blocks or the floor here. As you start to straighten up through the right leg, the left arm will lift up, arriving in Trikonasana. Take the left hand over the head, fingers pointing away from you, a couple of breaths here. And then doing the same with the bent front knee. So right knee bends. Keep the back leg as strong as you can as the left arm lifts up again. And then pointing the left fingertips away from you, stretching out the left arm over the head. Left hand coming down, adjust the hands either side, and rotating your back foot again, so it's again parallel with the long edge of the mat. And then the left knee can drop down. Now do use that right thigh for a bit of support if you would like to, arriving up and into Anjaneyasana. Toes can be tucked under as well for a bit more balance. And the hands will come back down again, either side of the front foot. So toes tucking under. And this time we'll step the right foot back to join the left into down dog. Feet a little distance away, and now take your heels out. Toes will be pointing in, almost like your pigeon-toed here, in your down dog. Give yourself one more round of breath here, and then find your way down onto all fours. And we're arriving for a few resting breaths back into child. So arms can either be in front of you, or you may want to bring them out behind you, palms turning up. And starting to lift the spine up and into sitting. Now take the knees a little bit wider here. Do use any props that you need to. Hands can be facing forward, else you can take them out to the sides, or else you can take the rotation back, fingertips back towards you. In breath, looking up towards your ceiling. See if you can just catch hold of the third eye point up between the brows. So you're taking the gaze towards that point. Breathe in. Out breath will come into line, the tongue coming out. You're roaring that out breath out through the mouth. Another in breath, arrive at the third eye point, soft gaze. And out breath, tongue out. Take 3 more. And lifting the heel of a hand, bring the fingertips pointing forward, if not so before, and taking your knees as wide as you feel comfortable doing, sliding the hands down into a hip opener. Keep coming back to that stance, watching sensation, watching the emotions, watching thoughts. And take another few breaths in. And now starting to walk the hands back in. And hands back in, knees coming together. And swinging your legs around out in front of you. Slide your hands down towards your feet. Shuffle weight maybe a little bit from each side of the body to the other. And an easy forward fold here. The head can just hang down. Your arms can relax downwards. Keep the toes flexing up as much as feels comfortable. And sliding hands back up and into sitting again. Now, hands are coming back behind you. Your fingertips are pointing back in towards the body. So find a comfortable position there. In breath, leaning back onto the hands. The head will hang back behind you. Give yourself an out breath there. And then rolling your spine forward, the chin will come into the hollow at the base of the throat. You can lift the heels of the hands up here. So just find your optimum point to kind of really enjoy those edges of your body. Palms will rest back down again. And we're coming back into the back bend. You can open the jaw. And then again, rolling the chin into the throat. You can ease up off the heels of the hands, just slightly curve forward. Now this time we come into the full body stretch if you'd like to. So you'll plant the hands, heels of the hands back down. As you start to ease back into your back bend, your pelvis will lift alongside. You can open the throat. And finding your way back and into forward fold. Take your arms back out again. We're going to do one more round here. So either coming into the full body stretch or else coming into the back bend using the hands as the support. Pointing toes away, lifting pelvis up, jaw opening. And rolling back down again. We all arrive into the forward fold. Letting your hands relax wherever you feel comfortable. You can shift weight a little bit from side to side. And in-breath, lifting your way up and into sitting. So arriving in sitting, toes out in front of you, left hand to right knee, and in-breath, right arm circling up and coming out behind you. Come to the fingertips, and you're lifting into twist. Right arm will float over, coming towards your left knee, and then a big in-breath and the left arm will float over and resting behind you, taking you into twist. And then coming back to your center line. And we're rolling down onto the spine now. And knees will come into the chest as you arrive there. In breath, taking your knees away from the body, breathing in. And out breath, the knees drawing back in. Follow your breath a few rounds. And for the next couple of rounds or so, as you breathe out, the breath will escape through the mouth. Soft, gentle breath through the mouth. Now either catch hold of the back of the thighs or else reaching towards the outer edges of the feet and tipping the feet up towards ceiling. And then knees can come out to either side of the body into happy baby. Bring your knees together and feet together. And just hugging the knees now into the chest. Just rocking from side to side of the spine for a few breaths. Then hands on the knees and plant your feet down to the mat. Make sure your feet are more or less underneath the knees here. Arms by the sides of the body. And in breath, feet hips width apart. We'll lift up into a bridge. Make sure your chin is away from your throat here. So it just means then there's a bit of space for the front of the body to open rather than tucking in. Allows your breath to be a bit freer. Hands can reach towards the feet as a support. Else you can interlace them underneath the lifted pelvis. Shuffling up onto the shoulders as high as you can. So you're tucking your shoulders underneath you. And palms opening, and you're releasing your spine back down to the mat. Now, walk your feet out to the sides of the mat, so your knees are in the center line, feet on the outer edges of the mat. Knees coming back into the chest. And then dropping the feet back down, hips width apart. Let the hands come down to the sides of the feet, lifting up into bridge. Tuck the shoulders under. And if you're interlacing your fingers, if you now interlace them the opposite way to which you were doing, less comfortable way, familiar way. Another breath. And arms opening again. And the pelvis is dropping back down. Now stretching out each leg in turn onto the floor. Kind of think you're in Shavasana here, but we're just going to come into a twist there. Right knee bending. It's by the side of the left leg. And you can use your left hand as a lever to draw that right knee over. The right arm can come out into a T shape, or else you can take it above the head into a kind of C shape. And taking the right knee over, you're arriving into twist. And right knee coming back. Bend the left knee now in and stretching out the right leg. Left arm out to the side of the body and the right hand coming towards the left knee and using that as your lever to take that left knee over towards the right. And you're taking the gaze towards the left side. And rotating back onto the spine. Just hug your knees in again. Just rock a little bit from side to side. You find that sense of balance, both sides of the spine. And then feet coming down. Resting your hands on your belly as you arrive, elbows out to the sides. And feeling the belly rise and fall underneath the hands as you lie flat. Take your awareness inside the body, eyes shutting. Into the touch of breath inside the belly. And then arms can open out either sides of the body, palms facing up. And you're arriving into Shavasana. Now, with nothing to do, the body finding stillness, taking rest. Noting where your mind has travelled to. And against this backdrop of flow, bringing your attention to the rhythm of the breath. Resting in the rhythm of breath. Anchor, guide, friend. And allowing your awareness to travel out to your surroundings, to the sounds in them, to the contact of body with earth, with sky, air on face and skin. moving your fingers, toes, and the head from side to side when you're ready to. And then, when you're ready, bending knees. And with knees bent, arriving on the right hand side of the body. And from there, finding your way up and into sitting into a comfortable seat. Allow your eyes to lightly shut as you arrive here. And bringing into the forefront of your attention the flow of breath within you. And feeling the comfort within the breath. And setting this as your guide to lead you forwards from your mat into the rest of the day and week. Hands coming to the heart. And bowing forwards to yourself, to each other, and closing practice.